What's going on, people? PD CEO, once again coming at you for We'll Talk Again. This is my show where I speak to you about different things going on in the media, going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? And right now it's like a mixed bag. You know what I'm saying? It's a mixed bag of things going on. So first thing I see is WAP. If you don't know what WAP is, it's an acronym, WAP, for wet ass pussy. Yeah. I guess I should have said it, like bleeped it out or something. I don't know. It's an adult show, so hopefully y'all get the point. But that's a song by Cardi B featuring Megan Thee Stallion. Was a whole lot of controversy. I don't know why it was a whole lot of controversy, but it was a whole lot of controversy in regards to this song. It seemed to be like the hot topic right now and what everybody is speaking on and everybody feels some type of way about. You have women feeling a certain type of way saying, this isn't the representation that we want. You had men saying, oh, this is how this is the type of stuff y'all peddling to my daughters, and y'all supposed to be role models. Then you had people upset about Kylie Jenner being in the video, which sparked something dope with Viola Davis. They was putting Viola Davis in the place of, what I'm saying? It was a whole lot going on with that. Subject matter wise, I mean, this type of stuff been going on for years and years and years, from women, from men, like, groups, solo acts, whatever. They always been speaking their mind about sex. That's just been a thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the easiest thing to sell. Sex sells. You know what I'm saying? You don't believe it? Put up a picture with a bikini top on. You know what I'm saying? Male or female. Put on a picture with a bikini top. I guarantee you it'll get attention. Whether it be positive attention, negative attention, it'll get attention. Sex sells. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people started saying, well, what about the movement? What about all these different things that's going on? Who's to say these artists don't have something about the movement coming up? Single is just a single. I mean, that's what it is. Like, you just putting out a single, you letting the world know that your project is on the way. And that's all it really is. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the biggest of deals when it comes to the music. On another note, parents, if you don't want your kids listening to this type of music, don't allow your kids to listen to this type of music. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, this music existed. The first time I ever heard Scarface, Mr. Scarface, I was on a park with my cousin on Days Hill. I used to always put the tissue in the tape, in the blank tape, put it in the deck and record from the radio station. He came, I had a dual tape radio, and I'm on the basketball court. He came and put the Scarface tape in. Boom. Of course, I got the other tape in the recording side. He started playing Mr. Scarface, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, oh man, they cussing up, they saying all kind of stuff. Press record. I didn't even rewind the tape or nothing. I just pressed record. So my Scarface tape started in the middle of a whole nother tape. My parents heard that tape and went crazy. The fact of the matter is, I wasn't allowed to listen to that type of music. So even though I listened to it and heard it, it still was shunned in my household, so it was stopped. You see what I'm saying? So if you want your kids to have certain role models that's different as far as music goes, then you need to find those artists and you need to introduce your kids to those artists. If you don't want them to hear the other artists, don't let them hear the other artists. That's all. It's simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why they have, adult channels, and they're not for children. That's why you have ratings on shows, because they're not for children. That's why in the music industry, they started making people do parental advisory, because it's not for children, or it's based on the parental advisory. You see what I'm saying? Damn, I'm sweating. Every time I start doing this, get in front of the camera, I start sweating. I don't know, I must be nervous. But, and it's a little hot. I got to get me an AC in here. Ain't no AC in here. Another thing, Kamala Harris, she's going to be running with Biden as the VP pick. For me, I'm not big on Biden at all. But I always found it strange that Biden was able to become the presidential candidate and Kamala was shunned for following the policies that he made law. Let me say that again. I always found it strange that Joe Biden became the nominee for president and Kamala was shunned for carrying out the laws that he passed. See, super predators, I think it was 93 crime bill or 98, I'm not sure. The crime bill, mandatory minimums, all these different things, you know what I'm saying? They called it the Biden law, like he helped put it through. He helped push these things. And Black people supported him to run for president, despite his past dealings. But Kamala, being a prosecutor who is considered the top cop, they're supposed to, police go out, they arrest people, you know what I'm saying? The judge sets a bond and sets a court date. The prosecutor is the person that comes in and makes sure that this person gets locked up and gets a certain amount of time. So what are we going off of? We're going off of police reports. You know about police reports. You know how they do with that. So if the police report is full of lies, just to make it a case for me to be able to try it, I can only go by the information that I receive. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm being told that you're a crack lord and you're selling all kind of dope, and these 20 other people are your crew, your henchmen, and y'all got murders, bodies, drugs, all of this stuff behind y'all, I'm supposed to take that information into court and try to get you off the street and arrest you. See what I'm saying? Like, police work is supposed to be a noble thing. It's supposed to be almost a heroic thing. But they kind of took that away from themselves. Like, they don't fit that bill anymore because they don't protect and serve. So when you have a person like Kamala, whose parents are civil rights leaders or part of the civil rights movement, of course they didn't raise her to be racist. But when you get involved in a racist system that is meant to push the agenda of white supremacy, guess what you're going to have? Racism and white supremacy. It don't matter how hard you try to work to fix the system, because obviously if you check the record, if you're talking trash about her, you're talking down on her, like, you check the record, so you've seen that she did programs to train the police. You can see that she did programs to help people find jobs in the community. You can see that she did positive things and she did negative things. a lot of times with prosecutors, they got to follow the law. It's all about how that law is written. And unfortunately, in the case of police, the law is written to where they have impunity. They can pretty much do whatever they want to, and it's assumed that they are justified. And that's a law that we got to change. Sorry, you do the crime, you should do the time. That's the way it should be. Oh, look, it almost looked like I wasn't recording. Anyway, I'm tripping, y'all. Y'all forgive me, I'm tripping today. But I think that people really gotta look at where they really stand in these situations. Like, are you really against Kamala but not against Biden? And if you are against Biden and Kamala, then the question is, are you for Trump? See, you don't get too much choices when it comes to politics, but in reality, we started out with like 13, 14 people running for the people who consider themselves Democrats, or the people who, were looking to the other party to have an alternative. Like, we started off with a gay person. We started off with several black people. Started off with, I'm trying to find a word. I don't know if he was Japanese or what, an Asian person, Andrew Yang. We started off with a lot of diversity. So for the people now who's screaming, diversity, diversity, where's the diversity? Like, we started off with plenty of diversity. And either y'all didn't vote, didn't care, or voted and, for the person that ended up being picked. An old white man. That was the diversity that y'all went back to. I mean, no need to complain now. And then I seen something that said Christians and Muslims can't vote for a woman to be in charge. Like, in this country, there's a separation between church and state. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but in this situation, I'm going to say it's a good thing. Separate it. Stop being an idiot. You live in this country. What you going to do? Barbecue or mildew. You know what I'm saying? You either going to vote for one side or you're going to vote for the other. And if your vote was going towards that one side and you don't vote, then you voted for the other. It's just that simple. So, get yourself together, figure out what you want to do. And, whatever hang-ups you got, if you're a man and you just don't like women being in charge, get over it. Get over it. The best person should be the person in charge. That's how it should be in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? So just figure out what you want to do for yourself, opposed to crying and trying to persuade other people to follow your stupidity. And voting is a choice, but I don't believe that voting is a choice. I believe that the person you vote for is your choice. If you're going to be a citizen, you have a civic duty to do that one thing, which is vote. So hopefully you decide to do that. Hopefully you put it in your mind that, this person is good for me in these ways, so I'm going to vote for them. Not necessarily every way, but it might be the person you have the closest interest to, that's who you go for. And you hold their feet to the fire for the things that they promised to do for you. Just like Biden. I don't believe Biden wanted to choose a black woman. I believe that Biden wanted to choose a woman. Black woman? No. He had already thrown us his bone. He was like, I'm going to put a black woman on the Supreme Court. And we came back and was like, nah, that's not going to be enough. We kept you in the game. So if you want to stay in the game now, if you want to win, we're going to need black woman vice president. Very specific. And though he might not have wanted to do it, he knew he had to do it. You want a chance of winning? You need us. And that's how politics works. I don't think black people ever understood the way politics works. At least I didn't know that you vote and then you go hold their feet to the fire for the things you voted for. Because there's a lot of people would be like, Barack Obama ain't did nothing for black people. And my response to them is, well, what did you ask for? If you ain't asked the man for nothing, then what you expect from him? See what I'm saying? Like, I use the example LGBTQ community, they wanted marriage. He was against it. But votes, a friend of his on the campaign, and just simple logic, I guess, told him, like, why am I fighting against this? Why am I stopping this? People should be allowed to love who they want to love. So his mindset changed, I guess. And they were able to get what they lobbied and fought for. So if you want police to stop shooting black people and to stop killing unarmed black men and women, then you need to vote and hold that person accountable for your vote, because that's currency. So if you hold Biden accountable or you hold Trump accountable, you dig what I'm saying? Like, you should get what you want. You voted. But if you vote and you don't call your congressman, you don't call your mayor, you don't call the people that's elected officials that you help elect, and you don't require anything of them, they're not going to give you anything. They're not going to just wake up one day and be like, oh, man, you know what they need in that black community? Nah. Why should they care? What, because they people and you people? It's clear that people didn't care about people on this planet for a long time. No lives matter until black lives matter. All lives don't matter until black lives matter. You dig what I'm saying? Like, plenty wars, plenty situations, genocide, the word wouldn't exist if people weren't doing it around the world. You see what I'm saying? Like, these things are real. So with that being said, like, you got to be able to vote your interests. Vote for what you want. Ask for what you want and demand it. That's what it comes down to. Let's see. We covered WAP. Anyway, so we covered that. We covered vice presidential pick. Congratulations to Joe Biden for making a smart decision, and Ms. Kamala Harris for, possibly being the first black female vice president. That's dope. You know what I'm saying? There was something else I wanted to speak on. Just listening to the Poor Minds podcast. Young ladies was talking about marriage. She said she seen a post on Twitter and she spoke on how the young lady was basically saying, like, women these days, are being baby mamas, letting these dudes make them baby mamas instead of them being wives. And me and my wife, we talked about this before, and we talked about how baby showers are the new weddings. Like, I don't know if y'all noticed this or not, but, like, people go all out for baby showers now. And they really don't have weddings. That wasn't a knock to anybody or a knock to any single person or anything like that. It's just realistic. Like, people don't really, the focus is not really on weddings anymore, at least in our community. Like, people go hard, have a big, beautiful baby shower, which is cool. Celebrate that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a blessing. But at the same time, y'all just gonna stay together forever and, like, never handle that business. For some people, it works. I mean, that's why I don't knock it. But the question is, if you're doing the same things, why wouldn't you do it? You know what I'm saying? Do you just want to stay single? Are you just having fun? Are you engaged with other people too? And you don't necessarily want to be legally binded to that other person? Like, what's the case? I'm pretty sure people got different reasons for different things. But young ladies basically made the statement. One was like, the one who brought up the subject, she said, some of us don't want to get married, you know what I'm saying? But she was speaking on possibly having a kid in the next year or two. But she didn't want to get married. So I assume you want the very nice baby shower, but not the wedding. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I'm just listening to your preference. You know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe that kind of solidifies what the young lady tweeted. Because it doesn't sound like you really want to get married. And it could just be right now because you're young. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool. But, to that, I would say don't be so concrete. But, we always talk about what we want. We always talk about where we're going to be and different things. But, like with age, with wisdom, with time, you come to find out that, hey, I was right when I was 13, or hey, I was right when I was 23, or hey, I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? So the whole point is, like, in life, you know what I'm saying? Like, the way you get these gray hairs, the way you get, you know what I'm saying, where you going is by living and doing what is best for you in your life. And yeah, I do believe that sometimes people can be judgmental, whether it be single people, whether it be married people. You know what I'm saying? So what I wanted to do was I wanted to get some advice or hear a different perspective from another podcast of ladies who happen to be married with children. So Poor Minds Podcast, that's POUR Minds Podcast. And those two ladies are single. I believe they're in their 20s. And, a lot of what they do is about having fun and having a ball, looking for men with money and, you know what I'm saying, just enjoying life, which is cool. Like, do that, live. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for me, I listen to it because I like to hear that perspective. What I like about podcasts is it allows you to get into the mind of people who are different from you. Like, never when I was 19, 20, wondering what is going through the minds of women that age, I would never have access to it. Even if somebody gave me the information, it would be one-sided. It would be based on that person, who they are, and their way of thinking. It wouldn't necessarily be like it would be some level of bias to it because you're talking to me, so you might say things that make it look a certain way to me. Whereas podcasts allow you to have conversations where it's just you and your friends, and even though you're recording it, you still willing to give up more information than you would had a dude just walked up and asked you the question. So the fact that they're single and they're living their life and they're a little younger, Drinks and Discussions is women in their 30s. Both of them are married. They both have children. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to see if their perspective would be the same in regards to getting married or having a problem with staying single. So I'm going to go ahead and play the clip of them talking about the situation and their feelings about it. And check out both shows, man. I like both of the shows. Both shows are dope. And tell me what you think about the episode afterwards.
That a woman took a L just because she had a baby and didn't get a ring. Who's
funny? It's funny.
So then I made another tweet and I said, serious question. Why y'all think every woman wants to get married? What makes y'all think that a woman took a L just because she had a baby and didn't get a ring?
I'm going to give my response on the aspect of why they think every woman wants to get married. And it's because the majority of women wants to experience marriage at least once in their lifetime. Now, for some women, whether it happens in order of marriage, child marriage, that is up to the individual person. I mean, when I had my first child, I didn't care that I wasn't married. It wasn't a big deal. I was young. However, had I cared enough with the particular person that I was with at the time, whether they married me first, I think that would have probably shortened the span of that relationship. I probably wouldn't even have had a son. Sometimes waiting will protect you.
So it sounds like, I'm guessing maybe they're trying to say, like, I guess every woman don't want to be married. Okay. So, first I will say this. I think we are missing the point of marriage. Okay. So I would say the woman who they're talking about who was flashing her ring, no, marriage does not validate you. It does not complete you. It does not make you a better woman because you are married. Now, marriage is a business. Okay? And I'm going to tell you why marriage is a business. That's why when you go get your marriage license, you have to pay for a marriage license because it is a business. So, do you have to be married? No, you do not. Do you want security? Do you want if that nigga die, you get the house? Do you want to know if that nigga die, you get to preside over the funeral? Do you want to know if that nigga die, you will be you will be over the estate or whatever the case may be. Now, you can easily say, well, I don't have to be married for that. I can make sure he write that in his will.
How many people
and stuff like
take
that.
The time to do
But
a will? Not many.
A lot of people don't take the time to do a will, and some of that stuff can still be. You can still bring that shit
get caught up in probate court.
In probate court,
like
still nevertheless. And when you're married, a lot of times, just on the fact of your being the wife at that moment, it does put you in a place of security and stability to go forth with whatever you and that man have accommodated throughout the span of that marriage. So I would not tell a woman to, run and get married. You know what I'm saying? Because she's pregnant. Because if you don't love that man, you don't want to be with that man, don't necessarily marry that man. But I'm not going to say at the same time that, marriage, you don't have to get married. You can just live your life. And the only reason I'm saying that because I've heard a lot of horror stories where women dated a nigga for years and was like, I'm a common law wife. But when the legality shit came into play, they ain't had no fucking say so. Because you ain't the wife. So if that man dies, that mother or that child, you know what I'm saying, or that next of kin, which is not you, gets to have the say so. You don't get no say so.
Let me interrupt you there before they even die. Even not even speaking on a young person aspect, even on an older person aspect when it comes to health. Because we just watched something on Netflix last night when they were talking about the show like Greed or whatever. But one of the series was about people getting power of attorney over people. Mm-hmm. And even though the lady had been with the man for years, and they've been living together happily, his family came in and just took everything and said he was incapacitated. So he's now a ward of the state. They appointed him a guardian. Yeah. And so she lost everything. He never married her. So, I mean, there are reasons to get married. But there are reasons. There are women out there who just
and
really want to be married.
Yeah, it's women who really want to be married, and they feel that the title and saying they're married completes them and solidifies something, and it doesn't. Because it doesn't solidify things in the way of morality or spirituality or any of that, but it does solidify things on a business front. So if you don't want to get married and it don't mean anything, then tell that nigga y'all need to go to the lawyer. He needs to draw up a will and testament, is what it's called. Not a will and testament.
I mean, it to me,
whatever.
Even signing the papers though.
Well, hold on. Tell him to go draw up the paperwork. Tell him to, write out whatever he need to write out to keep you secure. Now, here's the tea. Most likely, if the nigga ain't trying to marry you, the nigga ain't about to take no extra precautions and go to no lawyer and pay for no lawyer and pay for the fees to draw paperwork, to give a will and write up all this shit to make sure this shit go to her and this is this name and I got this account over here for her when she need. Most likely that's not finna happen. Because if a nigga won't take the time to marry your ass and sign a motherfucking marriage license that does all that shit, I don't see a nigga necessarily going out his way to do no paperwork to make sure you secure. And that's to me what that's to me what a man marrying a woman signifies to me. What it says to me is, I love you so much that I want to make sure for the legal purposes that you are taken care of and that you are identified as being my wife, and that knowing that you are going to be seen and known and acknowledged for legality purposes as my wife. We are partners. Then if something happened to me, this is where it goes. That to me is what marriage means to me when a man marries you.
Ladies, if y'all don't want to be with him, don't marry him.
Please don't.
Not even because you crazy.
But did you feel like that though? I feel like she was just saying, I felt like she was saying that basically, I guess when she saw the girl, I guess bragging about her being married, I got from it that she was basically saying, so what if you're married? Every woman don't necessarily want to be married. Even if we have a child, that don't mean we want to be married. And my thing is, you might not want to be married. But at the end of the day, if you're doing the same shit, if you're acting in the same way,
you might as well.
What is the difference? Because what the marriage is doing is solidifying you and protecting you. That's all that shit is. It's acknowledging that.
The common theme of their show and their episode is they 20-somethings, they having fun.
Oh.
One day they want to have kids, but they don't necessarily want to be married.
Do they want to be in a relationship would be the question.
Yeah.
I would have
She
to
don't want
ask
to be
them.
in a relationship. She just want maybe a nigga to take care of her, but that's about it.
That's not realistic.
It's really not.
Ain't no nigga about to take care of you when you out here.
Bitch, you get old at some point.
Well, I will say this, and I'm not going to judge you. You're young. And I think we need, and I'm not saying that in a condescending way, because I was young. And the way I thought, when I was young, I ain't want no kids. Did I not? I ain't want no motherfucking kids. I ain't want no kids. I wasn't gonna date no nigga with kids. And that's what the fuck it was. And at that time, I was 24. I was 20, 19, whatever. But then now I have 3 kids. And now I'm married. And I married a man who had previous kids.
Everything
so
changes.
You say that now, and that's fine. But don't speak with so much conviction, because how you feel in your 20s, I promise you, with all my fiber in my being,
first of all, how you
not gonna feel that way in 30.
You ain't gonna feel that way at 27.
Nope.
And you damn sure ain't gonna feel that way at 30.
Nope.
It's gonna change. But you're young. You get to do that. You get to, get messy and make mistakes, like Miss Frizzle say. So
yeah,
do it. But
if you about your business, you ain't gonna. If you about your business and you want a nigga to take care of you, then you better get some documents signed.
You know what I'm saying? As always, PD CEO. We'll talk again.